Okay, so I recently posted a blog post called The Top 5 Reasons Why Chatify is So Effective for Universities. And I wanted to do a quick video explainer and just to dive into a little bit more detail on why the system, why we believe that Chatify is actually ideal for universities, and just tease out some of the concepts and some of the ideas that I raised in the blog post. So the 5 reasons that I listed in the blog post were page level routing, page level knowledge bases, unlimited team members, reply live and reply later, and chat and Q&A. So I'll jump into to explaining the 5 key reasons there just in a little bit. But I suppose just to help you understand where we're coming from, I just kind of give you like a quick background on kind of like the actual why we believe the system is actually so effective for universities. So the real reason that Chatify is really effective for universities is that it was actually designed in conjunction with universities. So we're a startup that's based out of Ireland, and we were lucky enough to get the support of several Irish universities very early on in our development. And we worked closely with those universities to design the structure of the system, so the database architecture, how the system worked, the logic, so that it was ideal for how universities worked. And this structure, as we've expanded outside of Ireland and worked with UK and US universities or European universities, the same structure, like universities tend to be structured the same way across the globe. So to give you the background, the genesis of the idea was quite simple. In that we were looking at university course pages, and say I was interested in studying computer science at a particular university. Even though there was thousands or hundreds, maybe thousands of questions that came in for a course, the course that I was interested in, and the course description page wasn't any richer at the end of the year than it was at the start of the year. So we were kind of wondering why, that the person who was answering the course questions, why those answers weren't being posted back to the course page, so that the course page was a little richer for the next person that came on the page. So that was the kind of simple idea behind what is now called Chatify. So working with the universities, we got to understand the structure that was needed. So the way it typically works is that if I'm interested in studying physics or computer science at a particular university, that those questions will be handled by the physics department or the computer science team, or it could be answered by the course leader for computer science or med or whatever it is. And that same structure tends to hold out across different universities. So that's kind of like where we get into where page level routing came in. So that kind of product choice as such. What that means is that if a question comes in from this particular page, you can set a rule up that says assign it to this particular person or this particular team. Simple, but like if we hadn't worked with universities right from the get-go, that's maybe a feature that we could have missed, because if you look at traditional live chat providers, they'll have like you can have a sign based on department, or you can have a sign based on different kind of like very high level rules, but you typically won't get that granular level of assigning. Because they're just not structured like that. Like typically with them, the live chats would be handled by the live chat team, and they wouldn't be handled by potentially hundreds of people across the university that are answering questions for the 1 or 2 particular courses that they deal with. So that's okay. That's page level routing really deal with. So page level knowledge bases is kind of linked to that, and what that means is that like. Say the most common questions that will be asked for Irish universities are what were the points for this course last year? Now, if I ask what are the points on course A, and I ask the same question, what are the points on course B? I should get 2 different answers back, because even though I've asked the same question, if the system is set up correctly, the answer that's returned automatically on course B should be different from course A. So that's what we mean by page level knowledge base, so that the questions that will relate to one particular course won't be the same as another course. Okay, so the third thing then that I got into in the article or in the blog post was that Chatify supports unlimited team members. Now, if you look at how live chat software is typically priced or billed for, they typically charge per agent or per seat. So if that wouldn't work for a university, in that say a course leader might answer 10 or 20 questions a week. They're not going to pay €100 a month to have their seat there, and with their live chat software, and that that they only they have very low volumes, and you just couldn't justify that. So with Chatify, our system works in that there is no limit on the number of team members you can have. So if your university has 750 people who would typically answer questions that come in, you can have 750 people, and that does not affect the price that you pay for Chatify. But also, the key thing for that the insight that we got from working with universities was that the way that you would pass questions around the university or loop in other people for assistance was key. So there's a big kind of like team messaging piece to Chatify that really supports that distributed nature of customer care by universities. So say if a question comes in again on like the arts, on arts or business or whatever, and say it came in from an international student, it's very easy within Chatify to just reassign that to the international team. Or if a question came in on the computer science page, but it was really should be handled by the admissions team, you can basically just assign that to the admissions team. They get notified, and whoever's looking after the questions for computer science, they can continue on with the other questions that they need to deal with. So like that whole system is really designed around making that process of managing questions, not just replying directly to them super easy, but also like reassigning them or looping in other people for help. And that whole process on Chatify is really designed for large distributed teams, the way a university works. Okay, so the fourth point then that I got into in the blog post was reply live and reply later. This is really important. Like live chat for universities, a lot of the time live chat systems only work when the agent is online and the student is online, and they're both ready to chat at the exact same time. Whereas the reality for the way universities typically answer questions, that's not going to be a runner for a lot of it. So we support two ways. You can reply live and you can have a live chat, or you can reply later. And when you reply, when the course leader replies later, or admissions reply later, whatever, when they reply, the student gets notified by text or by email, and then they can come back on and they continue the conversation, or the conversation can stop there. So we support both options. So not all live chat has to be live. It's not to get into too techie on it, but like real-time chat would be a kind of more accurate description there. So it happens when it suits both people. It's actually like the kind of chat experience is very much modeled on what people are used to in WhatsApp or iMessage, in that the way you get the two blue ticks when it's delivered and red, if it's delivered to the server it stays just gray ticks, and it's just about kind of like reassuring the person that their message has been received, and notifying them that when it's been read, then you can see a typing indicator when course leader or an agent is replying to you. And so these kind of like the smartphone style messaging is very much part of the Chatify experience as well. And the other thing as well, so the fifth point that Chatify supports that no other live chat supporter does, is that we support live chat, so chat, one-to-one chat, and we also support Q&A, and we support Q&A in two formats. Q&A where you have a Q&A thread at the bottom of a course page or on a course page, whereas you've got a public thread of the questions that have been asked and answered just for that particular course. So we call that app Community Q&A, and that was the original idea with the product. So that touching back into why Chatify is so effective is that it was designed for universities. It was designed to have that granular page level rules, so that it really does kind of fit well for the structure of university. So in the Q&A, you can also as well, one of the other features that we support that no other live chat provider supports is that we also host, universities will run live Q&A events or group live chats for like open days or international events, and that's all part of Chatify as well. In that, you can host, you can be running, live Q&A just target at one particular subject area or one particular market. Like say you might be running a live Q&A for the United States market or the Chinese market, and you'll do a lot of promotion around that. And then, but that's all entirely with Chatify, and that's all entirely hosted on top of your own site. So that's kind of just a kind of, I suppose, a video description of why we think Chatify is so effective for universities. The reason is it was built in conjunction with universities, is designed for universities, and actually, as we've expanded outside of the education sector into retail and hotels and all these different and technology companies that we work with now, that structure that we worked with right back with the universities has actually served us really well, because it gives us that granular kind of like level of detail for assign rules, knowledge bases, so that we can support features that other live chat providers just can't, because we're very, very detailed on that. So that's it. That's why, that's just a quick kind of video summary of why we think, like I covered off the kind of top 5 reasons why Chatify is so effective. There's loads of other little kind of detailed reasons that there's no need to get into, that you'll kind of experience as you're using the product. But page level routing, page level knowledge bases, unlimited team members, reply live and reply later, chat and Q&A. And they're the kind of 5 main reasons why Chatify is so effective for universities. Okay, thanks for watching.